And we are live. Welcome, XCast, Season 11, Episode 5, Ghouli. Henry, you got a special guest with you tonight.
Yeah, my niece is visiting for a little bit.
Hi.
He said hi. She said hi.
Anyway, holy crap. The X-Files just went off the air, and I loved it. This was a phenomenal episode.
Yes,
loved
this was
every
amazing.
second of it. And, okay, let's go ahead and get with the twist, the spoiler first, because there was this Asian man midway through the episode, and he talks to Scully. Then we see him again at the end of the episode, and I was screaming at my television. I was like, that is William. That is William. And lo and behold, that was William. And, okay, so I don't know where to begin. So let's get started from the...
I love the advice he gave her. He said, don't give up on the bigger picture.
Yeah. I don't think that's the last we're going to see of William. I don't think
so either.
This is the midway point of this season, so we still got 5 episodes left, and I think we're going to see more of William. And so let's get started from the beginning. The teaser, I freaking love the teaser. It was scary as hell.
The two girls on this boat, and one of them looks like a monster. Right. You know what that monster put me in mind of? Put me in mind of the descriptions, the original descriptions of the chupacabra.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yes, except it had multiple. This creature had multiple arms. The chupacabra only has 2 arms.
Mm-hmm.
But the original descriptions, the original descriptions of the chupacabra were that it was this short little creature, which had the face on the creature in this episode was very similar to the chupacabra, except it has little spikes going down its back like spines almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's a short little creature. It's got like 3. It has like 2 fingers and a thumb on each hand, and like 3 toes on each foot.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the original description. Oh, and red glowing eyes, because it was seen at night, so it had red glowing eyes. So the description of the way the Ghouli looked was very similar, I thought.
Yeah. So what Ghouli is a mythical creature that we see twice in this episode, but we find out that this guy whose adoptive name was Jackson Vanderkamp, and apparently, and then the opening sequence, and then it has on there, I will make you see what I want you to see, which is very, very great description to sum up this episode.
Oh yeah. I didn't know what it meant, but as we got further into the episode, I realized, oh yeah,
yeah. But we see so we find out that these 2 girls have something in common with Scully. They had the same vision. Scully was relaying to a vision that she had to Mulder about her being in sleep paralysis and seeing this figure hovering over the bed. She goes to check it out, and then she sees this snow globe. The snow globe is very important. I mean, we see 2 snow globes, and it's very it ties into the episode very well, very nicely. Love it. Yeah. So she sees the snow globe with the ship on it, the broken down ship.
The condition that is described that Scully has is called hypnagogia. And the definition is the experience of the transitional state between wakefulness and sleep in humans, the hypnagogic state of consciousness during the onset of sleep. Mental phenomena that occur during this threshold consciousness phase include lucid thought, lucid dreaming, hallucinations, and sleep paralysis. I've had some experience with that, where I'd be dreaming, and I think the dream is so real, and I swear I hallucinate something in front of me. That's not there.
Mm-hmm.
So I have experienced a little bit of that hypnagogia.
Yeah, I mean, I think at least some people has experienced that before in their once before in their life.
Yes.
I think I've probably
So
experienced that a
I
few times.
identified with it when she was when I saw it, when I looked up the definition. I was like, yeah, I've experienced that.
Hmm. And the girls see the exact same vision that but Scully saw, and
Mm-hmm.
it turns to find out these girls has the same boyfriend, Jackson Vanderkamp. And
Yep.
I messaged you and our Facebook chat. I was like, "That's William. That has to be William." And it was William. And then we see that his parents got shot.
Shane Stradamus strikes again. By the way,
Changed to
he
Thomas
said it was
again.
William. Yes, he said it was William.
I was right. Yeah. Well, I think I was kind of spoiled into that because in the comments of the Facebook groups of the X Files that I'm in, they said William's going to appear, and lo and behold, William appeared. I think they kind of aged him up a little bit because he looked about 16, 17. So I think they probably aged him
Yeah,
up. He should be at
yeah.
least 13 or 14 at this point, but I think they aged him up. I don't really care about that. That's a minor point to me,
Well,
in my opinion.
if let's say William was born in 2001,
Hmm.
according to the X Files timeline, he would be about 17 this year.
Hmm.
16 or 17. He'd be about 16 or 17.
Hmm.
He would turn 17 this year if he was born in 2001. So
Hmm.
I think they got it just right. I think the continuity was really spot on. I thought
Let's see.
it really was. And this one was directed by James Wong, who has directed some good episodes.
Yeah, fantastic episodes, and this is just another one on his record, I guess. But yeah, so the two girls sees the ghoulie, and they get stabbed, and then blah 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 blah. And then the two girls sees the exact same vision as Scully does, and so they go to Jackson's house. His parents got shot, and we think that Jackson done it, but I suspected that it was a setup all along.
Uh,
Turns out it was a setup. I think it was a setup by the DOD or the DOJ, one of those you know,
yep.
intelligence agencies. They killed his parents, and then what Jackson did was that he faked his own death, and we saw that in the teaser last week, where the guy raised up from the body bag.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, William faked his own death, which I told you that the teaser kind of spoiled it for us.
Yeah,
I wish he didn't do that.
he made himself appear to have shot himself in the head.
Mm-hmm.
He made everybody think he'd done it. See,
Yeah. Well, let's go. So apparently, William has these powers that he can project images into other people's minds to
yes,
make them
yeah,
see what he see, which goes right with the whole intro sequence. With I'll make you see what you want to see, what I want you to see, which I thought
yeah.
was just phenomenal. I thought that was just fantastic, and
They really
apparently,
did a great job with that. Because he Scully, he projected a vision of Scully to the other agent,
yeah, and
projected
they
an
shot each
image
other.
of the Ghouli to the one agent on the one agent,
Mm-hmm.
and then at the end, near the end, when he was under the desk and Mulder and Scully were kind of talking to him, he projected himself to look like a nurse.
Yeah, to make his escape, which I thought was great.
And then at the end, he projects himself to look like the Asian fellow.
Yeah, we saw the Asian fellow twice, the Asian guy twice, and apparently he was the author of the book that was in William's bed about the pickup artist.
The pickup
We see him
artist,
yeah, we see him the first time with Scully at the hospital, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, who's this guy? There's got to be some relevance to him. There's got to be a reason why we see him. There has to be a reason why. Then at the end, we found out why. He's William. He's William, which I
Yeah,
thought was just.
we did.
I thought that
And
was just gonna happen.
something Mulder picked up on, you know, he noted the open and cold soda can sitting on the desk. He's like, why, if you're going to commit, if you're going to kill your parents, then kill yourself, why would you crack open a cold soda? So that was something that
this whole plot is
that was something that Mulder picked up on, you know.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool. You know, why was the back door open?
Yeah, we saw that as soon as Mulder and Scully went in. We saw the back door open. And then we hear the gunshot upstairs. Or a fake gunshot, I guess, because he, you know. So the whole plot of this this story was to not only introduce William, which I thought they did a fantastic job of doing, because this is the first time we see William all grown up. I mean, there's been speculations, you know, from me personally that this old dude's William, and that's completely out of the window now. And so I love how they introduced William in this episode, and I love that they finally made the connection between William and Scully so fantastic. I mean, he projects images into her head, and I think maybe she might have, you know, done the same thing to him. Maybe they have some kind of, you know, telekinetic. I don't know,
They seem to have a psychic bond because you know we've seen Scully have these visions. You know, we've seen Scully have these visions. You know, and I mean, I thought it was a great way to introduce William. I really did. I found no fault at all with that at all. I love the way they introduced him.
Yeah,
you know that he was living. He had adoptive parents, and you know, you remember he was given up for adoption. And the way they found out that indeed was William was she took a swab of her own DNA and they got some of his DNA, and that's how and they matched. So that's how she found out.
But Scully, I thought Gillian Anderson did a phenomenal job.
She was amazing in this.
She was great. I think this is one of her strong episodes in recent memory. But her monologue with talking to William, the dead body, talking to William, I thought she did a great job. And then she knew that was William. She knew. She just wanted to have the DNA test to be on the safe side, but she knew she felt that connection. And I think Mulder felt the connection too, as well.
She had that intuition. She really did. And her intuition was correct. It absolutely was, and I'm glad it did turn out to be William. Yeah, you know, I'm glad it wasn't like another wild goose chase or a dead end lead or whatever.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't do that.
Yeah, we knew eventually they were going to have to bring him in. We knew eventually they were going to have to bring him into the show and have him on the show. And I'm glad they did the way they did because, It was a very unconventional way to bring him in, but it fit for his character. I thought for William's character, based on what we heard about William, and that he has the same, you know, he's part alien. Don't forget, so that's how he's able to project the images.
Yeah, and we find out that the reason why the DOJ and the DOD want William dead is because he knows about Project Crossroads, and we see a familiar scene going back way back to season 1.
Oh yes,
with the smoking man in Skinner's office.
Yeah,
lighting up a cigarette. I mean, that is a great throwback to season 1 because every time
it absolutely is.
Every time we see Skinner in season 1,
was in, when I saw
the smoking man is usually there.
I was like, Yes, CSM episode. CSM.
Yeah.
He just had his birthday too. He's 80 years old. Just turned 80.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So kudos to William B. Davis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so
One of my he's great.
So we see the smoking man in Skinner's office. So we think that maybe Skinner has went to the quote unquote dark side for now by aligning himself with the smoking man.
He may have, and you know, of course, we saw the previews. Next week is going to be the Skinner episode. Oh
yeah, I think that's going to be a great one next week. Haley Joel Osment is in that one.
Oh yeah, the kid from The Sixth Sense.
So that's going to be good. That's going to be good. I think that's going to be a funny one.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a mixed bag. I think after tonight we need a lighthearted one because so much we got to take in.
It really is. This episode, there were no missteps with this episode tonight. This was, they did this so well that, you know, we had the great episode with Plus One. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, last week, Lost Art of Forehead Sweat, and this week, Ghouli. I mean, 3 consistently great episodes.
Yeah, I love it. And I said, I hope they keep the momentum going. And it appears they are. It appears they are keeping the momentum going.
Mm-hmm. And next week, you know, with Skinner.
Yeah, I think
what's the title of
next epic? Next week's episode with Skinner is called Kitten. Kitten.
That's going to be an interesting title.
Yeah.
And Mitch Pileggi is great. Basic Instinct a couple of nights ago. He was in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch Pileggi was, yeah. He's been in a lot of stuff. You know, he was Alice a few years ago.
Yeah, I actually hosted a long time ago, back in the 90s, the Breaking the Magician's Code.
That's right. Yeah. He was also hosted the revival, the short of In Search of. He was the host of that too.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes. So yeah. I mean, he's been very prolific as far as being a character actor. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like how last week we saw a glimpse of Skinner, and he delivered the funny line, "Where the hell are they taking Reggie?" And it's so funny. And then just to see Skinner in this episode being 100%, you know, full on dead serious, full on Skinner like he normally is. It's just the compare and contrast between this week and last week. And I think next week, I think Mitch Pileggi is going to be phenomenal. Tremendous in the solo episode.
Yeah, he's a very underrated actor. I think he's really good at what he does. The stuff that he's been in, amazing. Mm-hmm. He's great. Of course, we saw him in classic X-Files as Skinner, and he was great on that too.
Oh yeah.
I think we hit on all the major points of this episode. I think we
did. I think we
did. Think we missed anything.
But I think so Project Crossroads.
Yeah.
I think we need to go in more in depth on that. So basically what that is the whole project with combining alien DNA and human that transpired William. And that's what the Smoking Man did. So from that big revelation we saw in episode 1 of this season that he's the father of William, that he somehow took his DNA, mixed it with the alien DNA, got Scully pregnant. And we see that little flashback of how he apparently did that. I would love for them to go more in depth and show how he got her pregnant. I want to see if he injected her with something, if he strapped her to a bed and did this whole blood transfusion or whatever. but I like to see more scenes of how he done it, or at least have him explain how he done it.
Yeah, yeah, that would be great. Of course, we know that that he has some alien DNA in him. We already know that.
Yeah, he does have alien
Otherwise,
DNA in him. I think they
yeah,
did. I can't remember the exact episode, but I think they did like a whole episode, and he was like, strapped to a gurney and everything, and he got injected with DNA, with alien DNA. So we know that he's got alien DNA in him. And in this episode, we actually saw the foreshadowing events of the whole UFO over the bridge as well that we saw in the big cliffhanger
yes, we
of
did
season
see that.
10.
Yeah, briefly.
So I think that made the revelation of that William was the one that may have projected the image into Scully, into everyone's head, that there's an alien invasion coming. So maybe that the alien invasion is not happening at all, and it's just one big projection from William.
Ooh, that's an interesting
That's
possibility.
that's what I think I've gotten from this, because we saw that Scully saw it, and we found out that it wasn't real, that it was a future prediction, a premonition, if you will, of what may transpire. So maybe William might be involved somehow with this whole. I think at this end of the season, we're going to see that whole sequence of events again. That's my prediction. I think in the season finale, we're going to see that whole Scully on the bridge with the UFO. I think we're going to see that again.
Ooh. Oh my goodness, that's going to get
that's
good
my prediction.
too.
It's hard to predict X-Files episodes because you think they're going to go in one direction, you think they're going to go in this direction, but no, they threw this curveball at you. It's like they jingling the keys to distract you while they throw a curveball and go somewhere else.
Yeah,
Great, and
exactly.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Who wrote this episode tonight?
James Wong.
I know. Oh, he wrote
James
it too.
Wong. Written and directed by. Yeah.
Nice. He did a great job too. This
he
was
did some of
amazing.
he did some of the he worked with Glenn Morgan in the earlier season. He did Squeeze.
Yeah.
He did Squeeze with Glenn Morgan.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did Beyond the Sea with Glenn Morgan, which I absolutely love. You got,
we reviewed that one.
Brad Dourif. We did. We reviewed that one. Brad Dourif.
Yeah.
Voice of Chucky. I mean, he did some really, really great episodes, and this is just right up there with them. He actually did Home with Glenn Morgan.
Oh, yes, Home. Oh.
Yeah.
So we saw the same actress 2 weeks ago make a return to the X-Files.
Yeah.
And in fact, of course, when we watched, when they were showing the the scenes supposedly with Reggie last week, they showed the scene with Mrs. Peacock from Home.
He did, which is great. I love it.
Yep.
Oh man. So I have to give this episode 10 out of 10. I mean, they did a great job.
Yes.
They did a great job introducing William to us. And
definitely another perfect 10. This was I mean, but the good thing is this episode was, I mean, last week's was more humorous, it was more lighthearted, but then you flip that on its head, and this week it's more serious. But yet they're both great episodes. But they're so dichotomous because the tone is very different for each episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we need a good. I think they should have had last week's episode next week, so we can take the mood off of us because this is a good episode. This is a great episode. But I cannot wait for the solo Skinner one next week. I think that's going to be a tremendous one.
The good thing about Plus One is there was a little humor in that episode. Also, there was quite a bit of humor in that one. Not as much as last week's, but still there was a good bit of humor in Plus One. But Lost Art of Forehead Sweat was definitely, that was more humorous. That was more overwhelmingly humor.
We have Randy Lacey watching, and they said, "Hi, it was a well-written episode, but after all Mulder and Scully have been through over giving William up, it would have been nice for them to see their son as he really is." I think it would have been too soon. I think it would have been a little bit too soon for them to see William. I think they did a great job of doing the whole reveal at the end of the episode, saying that you did see William, although it wasn't him, but you did see him and you did talk to him. But I think they're saving that. I think they're saving that probably for the season finale, or maybe a few episodes before the season finale. I think
they want to have a slow burn with it. That's what they want to do. They want to slow burn it. They don't want to rush it right away. They want a slow burn. I think they will see William again, and the next time when they do see William, he won't be in disguise. He won't be in disguise, or I guess you can call it a disguise because he projects himself in as a different person. So I guess in disguise. Yeah.
But I think they will see William for who he was. I think it was great for them to have that revelation that you did see William. You know he's okay. You know he's still alive, even though he didn't want you to see him for who he actually was.
Yeah. Well, see, that's one thing the X-Files is really good at. It's a slow burn. Breaking Bad, same way. Slow burn. They slow burn some stuff. They made you wait, but they give you these great episodes in between waiting for that slow burn. So, which was just amazing. But yeah, the X-Files, I mean, it's just, this was an amazing episode. This is one of the best of the season right here.
Yeah, it's gotta be a top 5 contender for me at this point. And there's only been 5 of them, but there's 5 left. We're in the midway point. I cannot wait to see what's in there. I cannot wait to see.
Yep, this is the halfway mark. Yeah, the halfway mark of the season. So. I was very impressed with tonight's episode. Amazing stuff.
Yeah. Let's see here. I think we covered the big parts in this episode. So yeah, I'm going to have to say again, 10 out of 10. They did a great job introducing us to William. And I was really interested to see how they was going to introduce us to William, because we discussed it before. We even discussed this back in season 10, that they have to show William. They have to show William.
Yes.
They didn't do it in season 10, which made the wait worthwhile, I think. To be honest with you, I think season 10 may have been too soon if they did show William.
I think so, yeah. Making us wait 2 years, I think making us wait 2 years is actually a good thing. Again, the slow burn thing, like we mentioned.
Yeah, they did a great job introducing William to us. I just cannot wait to go from here. I hate to sound repetitive, but the X-Files just went off the air 30 minutes ago, and it was such a good freaking episode. 10 out of 10. Strong story, strong points. It's giving us, it's telling us more what we need to know about William. And God, man, people, if you're watching, comment some of the questions below, and we'll do our best to answer them. Comment if you have any comments. Comment below.
Plus One was very much in the spirit of a classic X-Files episode.
Mm-hmm.
You know, last week's was very Vince Gilligan-esque, so it kind of had a classic X-Files vibe. This week, very much so. I mean, there's yeah, they've really been doing a great job. I mean, because they have a lot of the same people who worked on the classic X-Files now, you know, are still working on the new one. So,
oh man. Let me see here. Next week's episode, Kitten, the solo Skinner episode, is going to be written by a new person. I've never seen this name before, Gabe Rotter, and directed by Carol Banker. So they might be some of the new people that they got, and I'm curious to see what they've got in store for us, because. Then Alvin, we see in the teaser for next week that Alvin Kirsch, he's an X-File original. He was the assistant director of the FBI back in 2000, and then he was promoted into as deputy director. So we get to see him again.
Wow!
And apparently, I'm reading the Wikipedia for him. Apparently, Alvin is going to tie into the whole Skinner episode, because apparently Skinner, from what we saw in the teaser, Skinner is going to be put into the Vietnam War. So he's going to be a Vietnam War veteran, and Alvin Kirsch is a Vietnam War veteran. So we're going to see them two tie together. So I think it's going to be a great plot.
I think so. Yeah. You know, and the good thing is, you know, they're bringing season 11 back within the year of the 25th anniversary of the X-Files.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
It started in the fall of 1993.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, 25 years.
That is epic. It's just epic. Let's see here. The very first episode was in September 10th of 93. And then, almost 25 years.
That's right.
25 years since the X-Files. And then they had that, 14, 15-year hiatus, and then it came back.
They waited a little over 13 years. They waited to bring it back.
Randy commented and said, "I hope you guys are right, especially with only 5 episodes left and Gillian Anderson bowing out. But it was excellent overall." Yeah, so the news is that Gillian Anderson might be stepping away from the X-Files after this season. I think maybe they can, if it gets renewed for season 12, which, I hope they do, or if not, at least do a movie to tie everything up. I think they just need to stop at 11, season 11. I think that'd be great, and then just do a final movie, with everyone in it. From Gillian Anderson, David Duchovny. Get Robert Patrick involved, get everyone involved, and just do a final movie to tie things up. I think that's what needs to happen.
That would be
instead of doing season 12 and 10 episodes, just do an entire movie and make the movie not like the other movie they had, the one back in 2008. I Want to Believe, the X-Files. I Want to Believe. That was more of a monster of the week kind of episode. But they need to do a final movie and focus on the whole alien DNA aspect. I think that's how they need to tie it up.
Yeah, that would be good. Because I've seen a little bit of Fight the Future. I haven't seen the entirety of Fight the Future. But I do know there's a plot where they involves bees. I do know that much. That involves bees.
And Randy just commented and said, "I think season 11 is better than season 10, more like classic X-Files episodes." Yeah, I completely agree with you, Randy. And well, see, the thing is that season 10 only had 6 episodes, so they try to do as much as they could in those 6 episodes. This time around, they got 10 episodes, so they could have flushed everything out more, which I think You know, I think season 11 has been pretty epic so far. Not one
Well,
bad episode.
my favorite episode from season 10. I don't know if Randy agrees, but Mulder and Scully meet the Weremonster.
Yeah, that was a
Amazing
good episode.
episode.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
Written and directed by the same guy who directed last week's episode, Darren Morgan, Lost Art of Forehead Sweat.
Yeah.
And we talked about last week. As we mentioned, both episodes, had that comedic vibe,
Mm-hmm.
So, and they had a lot of those. They both also had those Vince Gilligan-esque touches to them.
Yeah,
both those
and
episodes.
I kept on. Yeah, and I'm again repetitive, but it's like even though Vince Gilligan isn't there, his spirit is there. His spirit, from the camera angles to the camera, direction, from the way it looks and everything. I mean, Vince Gilligan got his start on the X-Files, and he took what he learned from the X-Files and brought it over to Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
So after watching Breaking Bad, and the new X-Files, I mean, you can see the resemblance in the direction. When you watch Vince Gilligan episodes, Vince Gilligan directed Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul episodes.
Yeah, I mean, go back to some of the comedic X-Files Vince Gilligan episodes. Stuff like Small Potatoes and Bad Blood and some of the others that he directed.
Yeah.
And then you look at the episodes like Lost Art of Forehead Sweat and Mulder and Scully Meet the Weremonster. I mean, just very similar styling. I think Darren Morgan. He kind of took cues from Vince Gilligan for his two episodes, and you would swear that they were written and directed by Vince Gilligan, or at least written by Vince Gilligan. Even though he had no involvement in them.
Yeah.
But Darren Morgan did such a great job of writing and directing them that you almost think there's a possibility Vince Gilligan might have had something to do with this behind the scenes, maybe.
Although I would have loved for them. I would have loved to have Vince Gilligan at least write an episode this season. He didn't have to direct it. He could have just wrote one. And I think it would have been great. I think if he had the time, I think he would have done it. But with Better Call Saul in season 4, Better Call Saul around the corner, I don't think he just had the time to do it.
If you want a great dramatic Vince Gilligan X-Files episode, look no further than Drive.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have to relay this story. Breaking Bad is what got me watching the X-Files, because what I did was I found out that Vince Gilligan, wrote and direct episodes of the X-Files. So what I did is I seek out every single Vince Gilligan episode that he wrote or directed and watch those. That got me hooked. Then I decided, you know what? I have to watch this from start to finish, from season 1 to season 9, from the pilot up to the Truth Part 2. And it was just an epic, epic series that I wish I would have watched sooner. And I'm not really a big sci-fi fan, but the X-Files it's great. I mean, I think anybody will enjoy the X-Files.
Yeah, X-Files is sci-fi, but there's like paranormal stuff and conspiracy stuff and
I love all that. I love paranormal. I love conspiracies. I love everything about that. And for a show to focus on that, it's really epic.
Yeah,
because we don't see that a lot. Yeah. We don't see any recent television shows in history focus on government cover-ups and government conspiracies and this paranormal stuff and and all this, which it's just, oh man, I love every bit of it.
Oh, it is. I do too. I mean, wow. It just, yeah. And let's see, what were the 2 episodes called that had Michael McKean in them? The 2-parter where Mulder switched bodies with him.
There was a couple of them that had Michael McKean, but I think I think that was a Vince Gilligan
Those were
episode as
Vince
well.
Gilligan ones. Yeah. That was that 2-parter where they went to Area 51 and
yeah, and this whole thing came close. The people that's watching, if you know that episode, comment below because I cannot think of it right off the top of my head. The episode.
I can't remember it either, but those were great though. We really, I recall we really enjoyed those 2 episodes.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Because I mean, it was so different the way David Duchovny, he really stretched as with his acting skills and did amazing with that. So did Michael McKean for that matter.
I'm still holding out for a Mulder and Scully body switching episode. I think Darren Morgan, he does these comedic ones. I think he can write that. And
that's he would.
Darren Morgan, if anybody's watching that knows Darren Morgan, or if he's watching, that's a freebie. All right. I'm giving that to you. That is so you can write that from start to finish. Mulder and Scully, the teaser can be like, they wake up one day and you see, Mulder and Scully's body and vice versa. And I think, it'd be a great Freaky Friday episode.
Yeah. I mean, that would definitely be played for laughs. I mean, that would be a comedic episode also.
Yeah.
And hey, Darren Morgan could pull it off. He could pull it off.
Dreamland was
the
episode.
That was it. Yes, parts 1 and 2. Yep. Yes, Dreamland. Yeah, the ones with Michael McKean. Yeah.
Written by Vince Gilligan, John Schneiden, and Frank Spotnitz. Directed by Michael Watkins.
Yeah, that was written by co-written by Vince Gilligan. Yes, that was a great 2-parter. So I think we've hit on all the major points.
Yeah, I think we did. So the people that's watching, what we usually do is after we discuss the episode, we go on YouTube and take a look at YouTube videos that corresponds with the episode tonight. So last week, what we did for the Lost Art of Forehead Sweat was saw Mulder go squatching. So what we did was we took a look at Bigfoot videos. So go take a look back at that. Randy said you have to see the Fight the Future, fantastic movie, much better than the second movie. I completely agree with that. I like the comedic ones too. My favorite episode from the first 9 seasons is Bad Blood, which is a Vince Gilligan.
This is a Vince Gilligan episode. That's right. Yes. That is a great one. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Bad Blood.
It had the kid from the Sandlot. The kid from the Sandlot was
my other favorite Vince Gilligan episode, Ex-Cops. It was such a great parody of Cops.
That one was good too. Yeah.
And the story behind that. Yeah, so the story behind that one was that.
Yeah.
So the story behind that was that Vince Gilligan pitched the idea of doing an Unsolved Mysteries episode where they have Robert Stack, hosting and narrating, have, these secondary actors playing Mulder and Scully, but they didn't want to do that. So when I believe season 6, 7 was when Ex-Cops came around, Vince Gilligan pitched the idea again, and they went for it because they thought maybe season 7 was going to be the final season of the X-Files. So what they did was Vince Gilligan switched it around and did more of a Cops-like episode.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
I would love to see the Unsolved Mysteries X-Files episode. I think that would have been freaking awesome, especially with Robert Stack. You can't go wrong.
I know. Yeah. Agents Mulder and Scully.
Yeah. I think it would have been funny, and then maybe they could have blur Mulder's face out or something, and have him with the voice changer, so it wouldn't be known it was him. That was just an idea. But the body switching episode, go for it, people. Mulder and Scully switch bodies. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
get any better than that. But all right, so basically what we're doing is we take a look at some YouTube videos, and we did it last week. We did it the week before. Last week, Mulder went Bigfoot hunting. He went squatching. So we took a look at a couple of Bigfoot videos, and what we do is we take a look at them. After we look at them, we discuss them, and we see if they're we judge them based on our opinions if they're real or not real. And I got an idea. I mean, we had Ghouli in this episode, so he's some sort of monster, some sort of cryptid. So what I did is I searched monster sightings, and the first one that came up is 9 recent sightings of cryptids. So we're going to take a look. And this is from Epic Wildlife. From recent mermaid sightings to the amazing claim about lizard man. Oh man, that needed to be an X-Files episode. Lizard man.
Oh yeah,
that would be great.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, Mulder and Scully can go to North Carolina and see the lizard man.
It's actually South Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina. Okay.
South Carolina. Yeah.
They can go to South
Bishopville,
Carolina.
South Carolina.
They can go to South Carolina and see the lizard man.
Yeah, for those who are interested in Lizard Man, I would recommend Lyle Blackburn's excellent book, Lizard Man, The True Story of the Bishopville Monster.
All right, so let's see here. Let's see what Epic Wildlife posted. All right, 9 recent sightings of cryptids. Let's see how recent this is. This is from 2016 of October.
Oh. Yeah, eagle.
All right, so here's Bigfoot. That is not a Bigfoot. That is a bald eagle.
I bet. Okay. I bet I know what this one is. This is the
eagle cam footage.
The eagle, yes, the eagle cam footage where they've got a camera pointed at an eagle's nest.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden they catch a figure down below. We've looked at this one on Real or Not Real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, this could be anything. It could be, a hunter. It could have been someone, from the wildlife sanctuary that, has the eagle cam. Mm-hmm. Henry, what do you think?
Well, as I recall, we saw the thing supposedly jump. It supposedly made a leap that would have been practically impossible for a human in a suit to do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if it's a video or if they show just the stills.
I think they're just showing the stills.
We've seen. Well, we have actually watched the actual video, and we saw it make a leap, supposedly make a leap, but I don't know. I mean, if it's really hard. Yeah, it's really hard to determine exactly what it is. Especially with a camera from above.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a dark object. It could be anything. It could be a hunter. It could be it could be a hunter that just happened to be in the area. For all we know.
No, I'm going to go with undecided on this one. I don't think. I'm going to go with undecided. I'm not going to say it is a Bigfoot, and I'm not going to say it's not a Bigfoot, but I'm just going to go with undecided.
That would be my assessment also, so, yeah.
I don't know why that picture's there. It's Reggie.
Dude. Yeah, he got a toupee.
All right, number 8, Skunk Ape.
Skunk Ape.
And it's probably going to be the same photo that we discussed last week. No, it is not the same photo that we discussed last week. This is a different photo. I remember this photo as well because I remember we discussed it when it first came out. Back in 2000? When did that thing came out?
Is this the one from Finding Bigfoot?
It may have been.
Remember that was in Florida, and there was a guy down in. He was doing some videoing, and he was videoing this field, and there's supposedly a skunk ape way out in that field.
Yeah, and is this the same one that had all those people watching as well?
I think it might be.
It was like, you know, a group of people going out of their cars, and they was like,
Yes.
"Hey, look
I
over
remember
there.
that.
There's something
Yep,
over
I
there."
remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah, that's, I don't know if it's the same one or not. It looks, that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of that particular one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna go with undecided on this one.
Yeah, it's
Laney, I'm gonna
really,
go.
really hard to determine what that
Yeah.
is. I mean, there are bears down there in Florida. They're black bear.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that one, this one's a little hard to tell and determine what it is.
Well,
To be
we
quite
did
honest.
see the video, and the reaction for those group of people are legitimate. They do not know what that is. I don't think the
Mhm.
video was hoaxed in any sort of way. Those reactions on
Yeah,
that video was legitimate.
the reactions of those people that were looking at it, they were very natural. They're very natural reactions. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a group of individuals, you know, being able to host something and actually maintain a shock, you know, or maintain a good acting job like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think they genuinely were intrigued by what that was, but they didn't know what it was, of course. So, what was that? What is that? I don't know. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they thought. I mean, it's very strange looking, whatever it is. But again, undecided because we really don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna go with undecided. I'm gonna go with undecided, leaning towards possible because the reaction of the people is legitimate. It's like they've never seen that before, and
mhm.
I don't think it's hoax. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go on a limb and say this video was not
Yeah,
hoax. That video was
I
not
don't
hoax at
think.
all.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
they
think
would have.
anybody hoaxed anything
Yeah,
if
you
if
what?
it's a legitimate.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to go through heck just to find, you know, a group of actors clamoring together, you know, and strike up the hoax. I mean, I think this is a
Well,
legitimate. I think I'm going to lean towards.
let me
I'm going
let
to go
me
with
let me let
undecided.
me let me
Go
just
ahead.
say this: if it's a hoax, then there was somebody out there in that field with a suit hoaxing them.
Yeah,
They were being hoaxed.
yeah,
They were not the perpetrators.
yeah, yeah.
If it
I
is
agree.
somebody in a suit out in the field, it was he was hoaxing them. He was fooling them.
Hmm.
So because yeah, the reactions of those people are just, it's just way too natural for that to have been somebody hoaxing.
And we discussed this one last week. So if you want to
Yeah,
watch
the
our
Mayaka
discussion,
ape. Yep,
if you want to watch that
we looked at
discussion,
that one
watch it
last
last
week.
week. Oh,
Oh,
that's
werewolf
Lon
video.
Chaney,
That's from Dark Shadows, actually.
Old Stinker. Okay, I've never heard of that before. Okay.
Look at that. It's the Rougarou.
All right.
And that's a sketch of a werewolf, half man, half
Okay. I think
wolf.
he's just telling a story. I just unmuted the video, and I think he's just telling a story of.
You're supposed to be back by 7.
All right. Yeah, he's just telling the story of the legend of the old stinker. Apparently, the old stinker is some kind of werewolf creature. Um, you know, I love these legends. These legends is great, just epic, fast legends. All right, number 6, a mermaid. What mermaid could it
That
possibly be? Is it
was
Ariel?
probably a, yeah, it's Ariel.
It's Ariel.
It's Ariel.
when your show's over.
Okay, is that the mermaid? Okay, so that might be the mermaid. Yeah, that's kind of yeah, that's kind of hokey.
That could probably possibly be a what's the taxidermy perhaps, or it's some kind of a prop, a sideshow gaff.
Yeah, I don't think this is. I'm gonna go fake on this one.
There's a very famous one called the Fiji Mermaid.
Yeah, yeah.
Which so I remember seeing a copy of the Fiji Mermaid. It was at the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum in Newport, Oregon. And they have one at Lauren Coleman has a copy of it as well. And yeah, that one is that one's a hoax, or it was a sideshow gaff.
Yeah,
is what it was.
It was
I think P.T. Barnum was the one that came up with that. Came up with the Fiji Mermaid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what he did was like he took like a fishtail and he cut it in half and then he sewed some other part of it on there and said this is the Fiji Mermaid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with not real on this one. Looks to be a prop. It might be, sewn together just like the Fiji Mermaid. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, that's probably a prop. It's most likely it's definitely a hoax. I mean, it's well, it's not a seal. I can tell you that it's not a seal or a sea lion.
A seal or a manatee. Yeah. All right, number 5. All right, this is. I guess
you
this
saw
is 2016.
The guy's
2016
Facebook
Yeti
page
sighting.
was Yeti. Ooh, well, that's not it. That's something in California.
All right.
Okay, and we're showing a photographer. Okay, let's see the actual video or film.
There he is. There he is. Right there. Right there. Where's the red circle at?
It's a bunch of leaves. Where's this? Oh, wait.
Is that the Yeti? That's no Yeti. That's a tree branch.
What is that supposed to be?
All right, let's see if they zoom in on it.
Yeah, who do they think they're trying to kid with this one?
Yeah, yeah, that's a tree branch. It looks like a tree trunk as well. There is, I don't see a Yeti in that photo.
Nope. I see pareidolia.
I see it too.
That's my assessment. Pareidolia.
Yeah, not real.
Somebody thought they saw something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody thinks they see something in the.
It's Justin Bieber.
Oh, he's a douche.
All right, let's go to number 4. Ooh, this is gonna be a good one. The Kraken.
The Kraken, or the Kraken. That's known as the Kraken.
That'd be a good I think that'd be a good X-Files episode. The Kraken. They could have, have Mulder and Scully investigate this missing ship or something, and it turns out to be the Kraken. I think it'd be is that supposed to be the Kraken? I'm not seeing it. I mean,
yeah, that could be explained by there's so much you can do with Photoshop. I mean, it's only a photograph from above. It appears to be from above. There's so much you can do with Photoshop.
I do remember a while back that they actually found like the biggest squid. They a while back they did
that was legitimate. That was genuine.
Yeah,
I mean they actually had a couple of episodes devoted to the giant squid, and they actually did manage to film one way down the bottom. Well, not the bottom, but way down the depths of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
They
So I'm
managed to get
thinking
video.
that might be the picture of the big squid, though, from like an aerial point of
I don't
view of it.
know. I don't know. I would have to have some context on that particular.
Yeah,
This
I haven't
particular
seen this
photo
photo.
says no.
No, so I guess it's fake then. I'm gonna go with undecided on this one. I would love to see more. I love to see more on it.
Hmm.
Okay, that's not a kraken. That's a piece of land, I guess.
That's probably supposed to show the area where it was supposed to. I guess where the photo came from.
Unless they're showing that piece right there, overhead, that could be the kraken.
Yeah.
So maybe
that's probably that could be the explanation. So yeah. Number 3.
UFO sighting. Okay, this is good. All right.
I didn't realize UFOs were cryptids.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's supposed to be cryptid sightings. Apparently, I don't know how they get that.
UFOs have nothing to do with cryptids.
Okay.
That looks like a football.
Okay, that is weird. That is strange. It looks like a button. Some change. I don't see UFO in this.
Nope.
All right, so
Looks like just a dot
so
in the
this
sky.
one right here, I went back a little bit. I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna go with not a UFO.
No, that's not a UFO.
This one, that's wow. It looks like they took a photo and put like a little marker dot on it. That's what it looks like to me. I never seen any UFO to be that tiny.
Mm-mm. Yeah, that does not look like a freaking UFO. A Fox freaking Mulder. Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about that last week when he was saying that to those FBI agents.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I hope.
I'm Fox freaking Mulder.
Yeah, that was a great line. I hope that David Duchovny did a second take of that, and he says, "I'm Fox fucking Mulder," and they put that in the and they aired that instead of freaking. They aired that in the DVD release, the Blu-ray release.
That would have been funny. That'd be funny.
All right, I'm gonna go with not a UFO on that one.
Yeah, that's my assessment also. Probably wondering how the hell do they think they were going to fool somebody with that?
Yeah,
another Bigfoot.
Bigfoot again.
That's an action figure.
That's CG.
Wait a minute. Is this supposed to be the Bigfoot on Mars?
Wait, is that what they said? Bigfoot on Mars?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh.
Well, but I'll explain that in a little bit. If that's what this is supposed to be. All right. Why? All right. They're showing it's a statue. Why are they not showing?
Is that the?
Okay. Yeah. This is. Yes. This is the one. This has got to be it. Emerged in early 2007. I think it was done a little bit tongue in cheek. But yeah, supposedly. But the object that they photographed was not very big at all. I mean, it was a tiny, minuscule object.
Mm-hmm.
But it I guess it was probably. I think it was a joke. I think they were making a joke about Bigfoot being on Mars because there was this little bitty whatever it was looked kind of like Bigfoot.
Yeah,
and they even had Scott Harriet on CNN to talk about it. And he was, they were having fun with it. It was Anderson Cooper. It was him and Erica Hill, and they had Scott Harriet on, and they were talking about this. I remember.
Wow. And so the question is how Bigfoot get to Mars? That's the first question.
And how would it survive? How would it survive?
Yeah. So I'm guessing that the Bigfoot, if you're believing the paranormal aspect of Bigfoot, that it opened up a portal, got into its spaceship, and went to Mars. That's how Bigfoot apparently goes to Mars. But this is a rock. It's probably a rock. The pareidolia aspect.
Go ahead and hit play on it, and they'll probably zoom in on it.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's a rock. It's a rock. Yeah, all right, last one.
Well, there wasn't much context to
Lizard
that.
Man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Before we get to the Lizard Man, yeah, so I'm saying it was a rock on Mars. What do you think?
Most likely. I mean, there was something there, but no, there are no Bigfoots on Mars. Sorry, there's not.
Yeah. And if you remember, there was like another photo that came out that was like this a mouse on Mars or some kind of rat that was on Mars. Do you remember that?
Again, how would it survive?
Exactly. I mean, yeah. So, all right, let's go to Lizard Man. And if it's the photos that I'm thinking of, it's fake.
Mm-hmm. And I am most likely thinking of the same photograph also.
There it is.
Yep, that's the one. That's
Lizard
it,
Man.
Yep, that's the one.
So this Lizard Man was seen in South Carolina, and
words fail me about
this could be a Darren Morgan episode of X-Files.
Yes,
it could be something like some corny
words fail
Lizard
me.
Man episode.
How
ridiculous! A corny suit. It's great.
Words fail me how ridiculous that looks.
It's rubber. Wait a minute.
Look at that tail.
All right, so I figured out this Lizard Man contacted Bigfoot and helped him get to Mars. Man.
Oh, Lord. Did they really believe that they were going to fool people into thinking that was a Lizard Man?
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous. And
I remember the whole news story about this.
Mm-hmm. Look.
Yeah. Wait a minute. That's his friend. That's Lizard Man's friend, Barney.
I think you just clicked on maybe another video.
I did.
But yeah, that was just ridiculous. That wasn't. I mean, did they really believe that they're going to
remember the whole news story about this? I mean, it was like on the local news in South Carolina. I mean, everybody was talking about it.
Yeah, it's Barney.
Yeah.
I love you.
He actually has a Twitter.
So apparently, it looks as if it was somebody just having fun with it.
I'm going to go on Twitter right now and follow the freaking Lizard Man.
But there are those who think that Lizard Man is actually a skunk ape. but it's emaciated somehow. And the reason it looked green, the reason it looks green is because of the slime out of the swamp, green slime in the swamp, and it got on it.
The suit was gray though.
The initial sighting by Chris Davis was that he saw this thing. He thought it was green. He kind of panicked a little bit. I mean, I would highly recommend reading Lyle Blackburn's book, Lizard Man, The True Story of the Bishopville Monster. Really great book. If you want to know more about Lizard Man.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I just followed Lizard Man on Twitter. I love this Twitter bio is freaking hilarious. Born in the swamp, relocated to Bishopville, South Carolina, shy and misunderstood, love wrestling and NASCAR, and flies. Currently single but looking.
Okay.
Oh man.
That's insane. Obviously, it's done as it looks as if somebody was doing this as a parody. That's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the picture went viral.
Yeah.
See, this is what happens when stuff goes viral online. That's just crazy. But yeah, that was interesting looking at those different alleged cryptids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know how we're going to do next week's episode because it's more of a Skinner episode. So we're going to have to figure out what the monster of the week is in that episode, so we can discuss it.
Yeah.
But anyway. This is not tonight's episode of the X-Files. Just to do a little recap. Love it. Love how they introduced William. I love how they expanded the story between Scully, Mulder, and William. And I cannot wait to see where they go from here and see how they're going to go. Actually, I can't wait to see how they're going to bring back William, because he took off at the end of this episode, and I'm curious to see if William is going to find Scully now, or if they're going to track down William. If Mulder and Scully is going to track down William.
Yep, this was a tremendous episode. I really loved this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you probably figured. Well, I think I figured it out too, that this was going to be a continuation, some sort of continuation in the Williams storyline.
Yeah. I think we discussed that last week. I think we mentioned that William should be in this episode and focus on. I think this. So this is going to. Again, I think we're going to see more of William, probably in like the last two episodes.
I think we would have to I think see it, because it would make sense. I mean, because towards the end of the season we would we're going to see some sort of perhaps epic confrontation. We're going to see perhaps something's going to happen.
I wonder if we're going to see a confrontation between William and his real father, the smoking man.
Yes. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I mean, William, and I think we might have missed this, but William said that he figured that woman that he sends his message to is his biological mom. So he knows that Scully is his mom.
Yes.
So he needs to find out who his dad is, and he has to have some kind of confrontation between Smoking Man and Mulder and William. There has to be some sort of
Yeah, and I think Mulder will be part of the equation. Concern being there, obviously, yeah. Maybe Reyes.
And don't forget, we still have
Reyes
Mr. Y. I mean, what's going on with
Mr.
him?
Y also. Yeah, Mr. Y.
Mr. Y and his associate. I forgot her name, but yeah. So we got so there's a lot of stuff that's going on that hopefully would pick up in maybe the last 2 episodes, or at least the final 3 episodes.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to do it for here tonight. Again, recap, 10 out of 10. Love how they introduced William. Love the whole story. I hope they keep this momentum going. And I think they will with next week's episode, with the Skinner backstory episode. Which is surprising. I'm surprised they haven't
see much about William next week, if anything.
We may not see anything about William. Maybe they might have like some sort of the alien DNA might play a role, but maybe it's just going to be solely on Skinner.
Yeah. It seems to be pointing to sort of a backstory on Skinner for next week. That's what it seems to be pointing to. I don't think we're going to see much of William. We like I said, we may see. They may have a couple of episodes where we don't see William, or we may hear mention of him, maybe a brief mention, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But starting probably about episode 8, maybe episode 9, we're going to really see things to start to ramp up, I think, and they're going to try and wrap the storyline up as best they can.
Yeah. Yeah, we got 5 more episodes until the season finale, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be weird because last time there's only 6, and now there's 10, and I'm glad for that. But I think that's going to do it for here tonight. We will see you here next week live right after the X-Files, episode 6, kicking off that second half of this season, and Kitten is next week's episode, the solo Skinner episode. But all right, on that note, good night, everybody. See you here next